Hey guys, Dave from Midwest Sports, and here to talk about one of the long-awaited entries into Wilson's racket line. This is the update to the Wilson Blade. This is the Blade 98 16 by 19, so slightly more open string pattern. They also have an 18 by 20 option as well. But just some really nice updates with this franchise. It's been their kind of players racket, modern players racket for 7 generations now. This is the 7th version of the Blade, if you can believe that. But they've really done a good job keeping consistent the player-focused features that, you know, if you like previous blades, they've kept a lot of the specs intact with this one. 98 head size still, about 11.3, 11.4 strong, thin, flat beam design, 21 millimeters. So spec-wise, they've not changed anything. So it's such a great design. I would say if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. So that's really what Wilson's done with these in terms of the specs. Now in terms of the technology updates, in addition to the cosmetic, really cool looking cosmetic, but one of the things that they've actually removed from the Blade family now is the countervail technology. That was in the previous generation. It was kind of a vibration filtering, vibration dampening system, whatever you want to call it. Some people didn't care for it in terms of it numbed the feel a little bit. So from a feel standpoint, the new version is an improvement from the previous generation. And that's something I think Wilson going forward, they're going to kind of walk away a little bit from countervail. So, but this blade does not have countervail anymore, so good from a feel standpoint. Also, cosmetic, really cool looking, right? So those of you familiar with the Clash racket in Wilson's line, that's kind of where the design cues come from, but they've also kind of evolved some of the technology that they came out with in the Clash. This is not a Clash by any stretch, so don't be scared off by that. Some of the things they did with Clash, pretty unique, pretty interesting. The technology they use in Clash is called free flex. So making the racket more flexible, all while keeping it stable, are kind of the basic tenets of that. So they've evolved that for the blades, and they call it feel flex. So the idea behind it is still generally the same, but in a more measured way. They don't want to, what Wilson doesn't want to do is aggravate previous generations of blade players and fundamentally change a really great racket. They have not. They've really done a nice job of evolving the blade. What the Feel Flex does, gives you a little bit more flexibility, but just a little bit to where you feel a little more dwell time when you hit the ball. Just feels like the ball sits on the strings just a little bit longer. Get a really nice snap on it as well. So from that standpoint, just a really nice update to the blade. The amazing thing too is that they've actually been able to keep the racket extremely stable. So sometimes you think, oh, racket's getting more flexible, it's going to flop around, it's not going to be stable. But because of the carbon mapping that they use as part of this technology, it allows Wilson to keep the racket very stable as well. So very important for a player at the level that a blade player would be. So again, they're not changing anything with the blade that would upset a previous generation blade fan. They've just really done a nice job updating this franchise, evolving the franchise, I would say. A lot of folks around here really are taking to this. Can't wait till we get them. I'll be here any day, but just a really nice update. The 7th in the long line of blades. This is the Blade 98 16 by 19 string pattern.